It's a bit of a peculiar sight this evening. All the fans that we can see are scattered in home colours down the length of the Nat Loftow stand across from us. There's no one in the left end away to the other side of the ground. In the right, we've got a small pocket of Salford fans, and it's a bit harsh on them really, because they've been tucked away behind one of the corner flags. They've been offered 2 blocks, and there are 4 vacant ones with a much better view of proceedings. So it looks that Salford will defend with their backs to their travelling support in this first period. It's going to be Bolton who get us underway, and there's almost a deathly quiet that passes around the arena this evening. So, first match for these two teams in Group E of the EFL Trophy for the 23-24 season. The holders taking on the 2020 champions. We are underway. Bolton get us going. Move it swiftly out to their near side right with the Brentford loanee Paris Magoma. Looks for a man and rolls a pass into Aaron Morley. He's got Salford's Osama Ashley right over his shoulder, but Bolton have already moved it out to their left-hand side. Trying to find a way through into the attacking third. It's dropped back to Morley again. Has it taken off him? But too strongly by Osama Ashley for the referee's liking. And it's the first free kick of the game. It was actually taken 20 yards further back than Bolton needed to. Took it right on halfway, did Santos, but he's opted to keep play going, and it's to Bolton's benefit that he's done so. Josh Dacres-Cogley. Near side the Bolton right. I'll give you the full 11s in just a moment. Bolton pressing forward into the attacking third. Gives it to Magoma. Puts it back to Morley. Opening minute is all Bolton so far. Edges forward towards Gomez. Gomez with a long shot. Oh, lovely goal! Carlos Mendes Gomez. And he rifled that home. He's 30, maybe 35 yards out. Inside the first minute of the game. It's an absolute ripper. And the holders lead at the touch sheet. Bolton 1, Salford 0.
What a scorcher from Carlos Mendes Gomez. That is outstanding. I don't think Salford City have touched the ball yet. They've just kept possession of it. Bolton Wanderers, since the start of the game, there was one quick free kick that they took. And from it, they manoeuvred the ball to Gomez, who's playing in that little pocket, in that number 10 role. Nobody around him. He just tries his luck from 25, 30 yards out, and it just flies past the loanee goalkeeper Joe Wright. Nearly burst the net. Brilliant start from Bolton.
Well, it's Joe Wright's debut for Salford on loan from Millwall, and his first action is to pick an absolute rocket out of the back of his net. If you're just joining us, you missed one of the goals of the season from Bolton's Carlos Mendes Gomez. They lead Salford by a goal to 0. This is Cameron Pope and Adrian Clark for you on Talksport 2. I'll give you the 11s in full, with Bolton leading by a goal to 0. Baxter in goal. The Chelsea youth for Bolton, and behind a back three of Will Forrester, goal scorer Ricardo Santos, Jack Iredale, fullbacks are Josh Dacres-Cogley, Randall Williams, Paris Magoma, Aaron Morley, the central midfielders, Carlos Mendes Gomez, the attacking midfielder, Dan and Lunderloop, and John Daddy Bob Varson are the strikers. Not that they need strikers when the midfielders are hitting goals like that. As for Salford, the beaten goalkeeper is Joe Wright, on loan from Millwall. Back four of debutant Ben Collins, Kevin Burko, Theo Vassell, and Ethan Ingram, on loan from West Brom. In front of that back four, Ryan Watson, Osama Ashley, Matthew Lund, the captain, are the midfield three. Luke Bolton, Conor McLennan are the wide men, and Marcus Dacres is up front. So Bolton lead by a goal to 0. 3 minutes gone, bouncing on halfway. It's controlled by Carlos Mendes Gomez. This time opts to go backwards and hold possession in his own half. And I tell you, Adrian, anybody who says that the EFL Trophy doesn't matter to players, I think we can just play that goal back to them on loop for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a moment of real quality, and you can see that it meant plenty to Carlos Mendes Gomez, who joined in the summer, of course, from Luton Town. You know, I felt sorry for him because he was brilliant for Morecambe. Earned the transfer to Luton.
And they're coming forward again here now. A chance to move into the area for Paris Magoma. He goes down under the challenge of Lund. Referee was on hand, but liked this challenge, and so Salford can move out from the back. This is their first meaningful break. Up to halfway with Ryan Watson. Turns backwards and finds his captain. Lund takes stock of the situation, and it's not a good one for Salford. They had no options, and so there's a few ironic jeers coming from the home end as Salford this time come down their near side left flank. Here's Ben Collins. First touch of the game for the 19-year-old. 1-2 pass with Burko, but it doesn't come off, and it's been given away. And Dacres-Cogley nicks it back, can't play it down the line to bring in Lunderloop on the edge of the penalty area. And the visiting goalkeeper Wright can clear up to halfway. It's a poor header from Iredale, and he's presented that to Salford's Bolton, which is a rather confusing name to have at the Tushie Community Stadium for a visiting player. Lund on halfway for Salford, looking for a man on the overlap, uses the Baggies loanee Ingram, twist inside Randall Williams, up to the edge of the attacking third now. Quick 1-2, Ingram has it back, goes back to London in the pocket. Now nearing halfway, Bolton have pushed their visitors back into the midfield. They lead by a goal to nil, the Trotters. Cameron Pope and Adrian Clark on Talksport 2. Vassell with the bleached tips in his hair, looking for a pass through the middle. Does find Conor McLennan, but again, reaching the edge of the attacking third, and Salford can't penetrate it. Back to halfway they go. Watson spearing a pass out to the far side, Salford right. Here's Ingram. Bolton with 10 men behind the ball. Move back to Vassell inside his own half. Now he'll try and run it down through the middle. Plays it into the feet of the tracking back Ashley, and he's fouled, and so it will be a free kick to Salford. And this is about as close they've got, the visitors, to a chance so far. We've had 5 minutes gone in this EFL trophy clash. It's Group E, and it's Bolton leading by a Carlos Mendes-Gomez goal to nil. The free kick to be taken by Ryan Watson. Just a shade outside of the centre circle. Bolton half of the field. Ami's free kick. Holders on top in this one so far. And the visitors barely given a sniff of the ball. Here comes the free kick. The Bolton defenders are a good 15 yards outside of their penalty area. Here comes the loop ball over towards the edge of the box. Headed clear first by Nlundulu, but not convincingly. Drops in the 18-yard box. Ashley picks it up for Salford. Out to the wide Ami's right-hand side. Bolton. Luke Bolton, that is. Down towards the byline. Cuts the cross back. Not a good one. Finds a defender. Headed back into Salford hands. Edge of the penalty area. Ingram whips it out to the left-hand side. As Salford look at it, Collins is fouled by Josh Dakers-Cogley, and this is a free kick in a slightly better position for Salford City.
Yeah, the response has been good. They've kept the ball, which is not easy to do against Bolton Wanderers, who are a possession-heavy team, who average over 65% of the ball, by the way, in League One. But Salford look confident, knocking the ball around nicely, and they've won a free kick in a good area here. Watson over it.
Ryan Watson then, about 45 yards out on the angle, left-hand side of the penalty area, crosses towards the back post, headed down and behind for a goal kick. There were several red shirts in there rising, and a cluster at the back post, but Iredale, the presence of the Bolton centre-back, enough to put off those 2 red shirts, and it'll be out for a dead ball, which will be taken by Nathan Baxter, clad in a colour I'd probably call steward's yellow, as he drops it out short towards Will Forrester, and he's dallied too long on that. Allowed Marcus Dackers, the Welsh forward, in to close off the angle, and it does spray out awkwardly, but for a Bolton throw-in 30 yards from their own byline.
Big lads, aren't they? Ricardo Santos and Marcus.
That's a bruising battle, that, isn't it?
That is a heavyweight duel. It was good closing down from Dackers. Ricardo Santos is a top man around this stadium, this club. They absolutely love him. But there he did hold on to the ball a little bit too long. Almost got caught out.
A man who plied his trade for a long time in non-league, starring with Thurrock before he was snapped up by Peterborough. He came to Bolton in August 2020. Hugely popular when the home fans took the armband last term. And so far, his side have made a good start to another season in League One. Second at the moment, tied on points with Exeter at the top. 4 teams clustered on 13 points at the top of the third tier at the moment. So like you said, Adrian, it's going to be a tight division, but expectations are high. However, today, the couple of thousand we estimate in attendance, well, their faith in the team has been repaid in the opening salvos. 8 minutes gone on Talksport 2. It's Bolton 1, Salford 0. There's a battle on for possession on halfway, a battle that Bolton have won with Iredale's header. Brings it into Randall Williams. A sage pass back down the field to his own goalkeeper. That earns a round of applause. Sprayed out, and this time near side the Bolton right. That's to Will Forrester. Turns inside Conor McLennan. Still well inside their own half, Bolton, but they don't look stressed, they don't look pressured. And as I say that, it wasn't a great ball back to the goalkeeper Baxter from Forrester, but no one around him in red to make life difficult for him.
Yeah, they keep their width though. You know, they make the pitch very big when they have the ball. You got Randall Williams on one side, hugging the touchline.
And there's a lovely crossfield ball coming forward here for Bolton Wanderers, who are trying to get in with Josh Dakers-Cogley. And it was Ricardo Almeida Santos who pinged that 60 yards downfield. And it does take a wicked bounce and pass out behind the flying Bolton right wing back, but still the vision was exemplary. Salford throw taken by Ben Collins, goes down the line towards McLennan, who's upended, wants a free kick, won't get one. Bolton leading by a goal to nil, and they have the ball just inside the Salford half. Group E of the EFL trophy. Holders back inside their own territory, but Forrester wiggles through 2 red shirts to bring in Jack Iredale. Looks for a man. Who can he find? He's now up towards the corner of the penalty area. He's covered 30 yards. Cuts it back into the pocket. There are white shirts everywhere. John Daddy Bodvarsson trying to find the overlap. He had Iredale coming up over his left shoulder. Iredale gets the nick he wanted off the Salford captain London. It will be a Trotters throw-in. 15 yards from the Salford corner flag. 9.5 gone. Options to be perused. The nearest is Carlos Mendes Gomez, but it's going to go over his head towards John Daddy Bodvarsson, back towards the edge of the penalty area. Here's Gomez. Bolton happy to just keep the ball, doesn't matter where it is at the moment. Morley 40 yards out. 7 red shirts between him and the edge of the penalty area. Has to go backwards to go forward. It's a route 1 ball over the top into the path of Van Lunderloo, but headed clear by Salford's Kevin Burko. And the Ammies this time can control it with McLennan near side their own left. Cleared long over halfway, looking for the run of Marcus Dackers, but he was followed all the way by Santos of Bolton, and he nods back to the goalkeeper. Baxter rolling it out short. So 10 gone. Opinions on the opening salvos?
I'm enjoying it. I am. I think 2 good footballing sides who look exceptionally confident in possession. Lots of good movement, some nice distribution. But Bolton look a class outfit. Obviously, they're buoyed by that wonderful start given to them by Carlos Mendes Gomez.
Here come Bolton once more with Paris Magoma. 45 yards out on the angle. He plays a crossfield ball. White shirts coming forward. Salford on the defensive. Possible opportunity to cross here for Bolton on the left-hand side. Now it's with John Daddy Bodvarsson in the penalty area with his back to goal. Takes it down the left flank. Gets a little nick off the defender. And a winner corner off the shins of Luke Bolton. So there's a smattering of applause from the Nat Lofthouse stand across the way.
I think they're pleased to see John Daddy Bodvarsson out there, aren't they? It's been a long, long time since he started a match. You know, way over 200 days since he started a match in Bolton colours. Yeah, exactly. It's a long, long time. So he'll be really eager to impress, and that was a good piece of play from him.
Bolton corner taken quickly. The lead by a goal to nil towards the edge of the penalty area. Now a follow-up ball coming towards the back post. There are men arriving, cut across the face of the goal by Forrester and nicked away right at the death. It's still in the penalty area, but the second header has cleared that ball further. Salford is now stuck in their box, and Bolton are coming forward once again. Josh Dacres-Cogley near side the Bolton right. Spears a pass into the centre of the Salford half. It's now Morley's ball, 45 yards out, over the top, looking for Josh Dacres-Cogley near side the Bolton right. Only half cleared, hit down into the turf and headed goalwards and into the back of the net. And Bolton had 2 up after just 12 minutes of this game. It's not really been a contest so far. We knew what to expect from the holders. They said they're in it to win it once again this season. And after 12 and a half minutes, it's Bolton 2, Salford 0.
Yeah, it's the captain, Ricardo Santos. It's a bit of a miss-hit from Carlos Mendes Gomez. Hits his volley into the ground. But who's there to react quickest? It's the big man, the number 5. He just nods the ball in front of the goalkeeper, Joe Wright, who still hasn't made a save yet in Salford City colours on his debut on loan from Millwall. But yeah, what a good start this is from Bolton Wanderers. They almost scored just moments before from an excellent training ground routine that got in Forrester at the far post. It was really cleverly worked from a recycled move. You know, that passage of play never really stopped. They end up scoring a goal, and it feels like it might be a long evening now for Salford City.
It might be just that. There's plenty more football to be coming over the next couple of weeks. An international break. Don't forget, we've got internationals coming your way on Thursday. Slovenia versus Northern Ireland to kick off our international helping. That's with Alex Crook and the former Northern Ireland defender Jerry Taggart. League 2 action as well coming up on Saturday. Double header, 12:30, Bradford versus Grimsby. Talksport 2 exclusive commentary from Ian Dancer and the former Scotland striker Chris Iwelumo. After that, Wrexham versus Doncaster. Joe Shedden on comms for that one with former England defender Mickey Gray. Here though, 13 and a half minutes gone in the EFL Trophy. Bolton Wanderers 2, Salford City 0. Goals from Carlos Mendes Gomez and Ricardo Almeida Santos. It was an awkward chance as well for Salford to deal with. Carlos Mendes Gomez heading down into the turf. It skips over the heads of the defenders, and Ricardo Santos was there to head into basically an unguarded net. And Bolton are coming forward again. Quick pass into the feet of John Daddy Bodvarsson. Oh, he's lost it right at the death, and it's taken off him by Matty Lundy. Then had to run it into his own penalty area before clearing it, and it's only gone as far as Magoma on the corner of the penalty area. Brings it into Forrester. Turn on the edge of the box now. White shirts all around. Bolton leading by 2-0. Forrester looking for a pass. He's found one in Magoma. Tight to the near side right touchline as Bolton look at it. Back towards Morley. 10 man behind the ball for Salford City. Out towards Randall Williams, left-hand side of the box. Bolton coming forward once again. Can he find a cross in? It's forward towards Carlos Mendes-Gomez. Beats the first man in the challenge. Skip past Ingram. Doesn't get past Luke Bolton. Only half clears it. Now the cross will come in, but down the throat of Vassell. And he can get a right-footed volley to that and punt it up towards halfway. But everything now seems to be going Bolton's way. They have a spring in their step, the League One side. And we have it with Magoma again. Near side there right, 40 yards out. Going to play it away from goal. Forrester, on the right-hand side of that centre-back trio, seen plenty of the ball so far. Down the line he goes towards Stakers Cogley. Cuts it back towards the midway point in the Salford half. Now Magoma. Every moment looks as if Bolton could create something. This time doesn't come off with the pass to Bodvarsson though, and it's nicked back by Burkholt to his goalkeeper. 15 gone. It's all going one way at the moment.
It really is, yeah. I love the way that the wide centre-backs, Forrester on this near right-hand side and Jack Iredale to the left of Ricardo Centre, they're always the spare men. And they're looking to join in, and it's a little bit like with Sheffield United down the years under Chris Wilder. They get themselves into really advanced areas. They play like midfielders, and they're creating overloads all over the pitch. And yeah, it's very much one-way traffic.
Difficult for Salford to live with at the moment. Cameron Pope and former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clark on Talksport 2. 16 minutes gone at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. Forrester coming forward for Bolton. 20 yards inside the Salford half. Forward to Magoma, who drops the shoulder to get away from Ryan Watson, and now he's into the attacking third, and he slips it forward for Nlundulu. Now a save from the visiting keeper. Right, knocking it out with his knees towards the edge of the penalty area, but once again Bolton will pick it up. Near side there right once more, Nlundulu, corner of the penalty area. Has a man over his shoulders, that's Stakers Cogley. On the right foot he passes away from goal, but still Bolton look threatening. Morley moves it across once again towards Jack Iredale. Out to the left-hand side, not a great ball towards Randall Williams. He has to chase it, but he keeps it alive. Right on the whitewash as he cuts it back to Gomez, scorer of the first. Bolton 2 up. Overlap doesn't come off this time to Iredale. Heavy touch, but Luke Bolton's given it away. And now Bolton Wanderers coming forward again. Challenge on the edge of the box. Referee doesn't like it, and Bolton have a free kick, and they have all of the advantage. 17 gone. And the League One side are in rhythm here at home. They've done well in the league so far. They started with wins over Lincoln and Cheltenham, got through the first round of the League Cup against Barrow, then hit harder times in the rout of a defeat here against Wigan, and dropping points as well away at Burton, losing in the Carabao Cup to Middlesbrough. They got back on track on Saturday here against Derby, coming from behind to win against 10 men. They've made 7 changes tonight, and it doesn't seem to have affected them. Free kick, far side the Bolton left, swinging over the 2-man wall. First header is a Salford one, Watson up rather than away, hit into the sea of bodies by Magoma. Ricochets out towards the edge of the box, and Stakers Cogley takes a rather wild swipe. That swung out for a throw-in by the corner flag to the away side. It's Bolton 2, Salford 0.
Just glad of a breather, aren't they, at the moment? Salford City almost had goal number 3. It was a really good piece of play from Paris Magoma, on loan from Brentford. A couple of loan spells already. I think he was at Wimbledon, he was at MK Dons last year. It was really clever pass, threaded through the gap, and the Nlundulu should probably score, but it was a good save, I have to say, from Joe Wright. Used his right leg to spread himself.
Signed from Southampton this summer, Nlundulu, after a loan last season, and now he's coming forward on the edge of the penalty area looking for a turn. Nlundulu turns, shoots into the body of a defender, and there were meagre shouts of handball against Ethan Ingram, and they fall on deaf ears, and rightly so. His hands tucked behind the back. He has managed to clear, but Bolton coming forward again. Oh, and it should have been a better pass as well. Carlos Mendes-Gomez, well, he can hit them from 40 yards out, he can't pass them, or so it would seem. Not to be playing it in between Yondadi Bodvarsson and Dan Nlundulu. He's hit it too heavy, and it's gone out for a goal kick. 18 and a half gone at the Tough Sheet. Bolton 2, Salford 0.
Yeah, it was a rare mistake from a player wearing a white shirt. So far this evening, they've looked so accomplished in possession. They look really, really confident. And the thing to remember, Cameron, is that this isn't an 11 that have played together probably before. It's not an 11 that are used to, turning out week in, week out. It's a team put together for tonight's game only. But they look very, very well oiled, and it's completely dominant until this point.
Well, that's it. He might have liked to play his substitute goalkeeper Joel Coleman, Ian Evatt, but he was injured at half-time in the League Cup loss to Middlesbrough, and so it is Nathan Baxter, the main stopper, but in front of him you've got all kinds of changes. Jack Idle brought back in after injury. Yondadi Bodvarsson starting for the first time in 8 months down, and Lunderloop not started any of the last 3. And now Salford coming forward in a rare attack. 35 yards out, the ball is pinched, and Dacker's corner of the area now. Up against the formidable Santos. Santos gets across, and the Bolton skipper puts a good tackle in. It trickles out for a Salford throw. Slim picking so far for the visitors. Luke Bolton is going to take their throw in. It's 10 yards from the corner flag. Looking for a red shirt. Not many around him. Matty Lundy's captain is going to drop in. Got away from Bodvarsson. The throw in taken in a 1-2, and it's now wide, far side the Salford right, taken back towards halfway with Vassell, and it's credit to Bolton's press, because that's the first glance that Salford seem to have had at the Bolton penalty area, and within 3 passes they're back with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, they've forced them back, haven't they? That's the idea when you're out of possession. Force the opposition side to go sideways or backwards, and look, they're back with goalkeeper Joe Wright at the moment. So yeah, look, it's been a supremely impressive start. It's only the opening 20, of course, but they've got themselves into a real position of strength here, Wanderers, and I think that these players can go out and really enjoy themselves between now and the end of this match. You know, play their football knowing that they've got this healthy advantage.
Dacker's trying to start the overlap on halfway. He's got the second ball, lucky deflection off a defender, plays it down the line. Salford far right hand side of the field. Ethan Ingram feeds it out to the right hand side, cross and header goalwards from Conor McLennan. Not a bad effort, but one that Baxter could catch with relative ease after 2 quick steps to his left. It was a looping ball from the right hand side, and the new man brought in from Aberdeen flicked it towards the far post, but there was no real pace in the header to trouble the goalkeeper.
It was asking a lot, wasn't it? Because the cross was good. I think that Bolton's probably been the brightest player for Salford so far on that far right-hand side. It's a decent ball in, but McLennan's got to take a couple of steps back to get his head on the ball, and because of that he loses impetus, and he has to generate a lot of power with his neck. And I think he did well to force a save out of the goalkeeper, but it never really threatened.
So Bolton leading Salford City by 2-0. They start their title defence in the EFL Trophy this evening in Group E. As it stands, they're set to go top of the group, ahead of Manchester United under-21s on 2 points and Stockport on 1. Don't forget, if it is level after 90 minutes, it'll go to a penalty shootout. That doesn't look likely on what we've seen after 21 minutes, but such is the nature of football. There's a contested throw-in on halfway, and Bolton, well, they're certainly up for this. Paris Magoma is incensed that he's not got the decision. I don't think it was his throw-in. I think it rode up off his ankle in the clash with Kevin Burkott. So it's a throw-in to the Amis, taken by the debutant Collins. Quick 1-2, but his second ball is speared away awkwardly into the white shirt of Aaron Morley. Forward it comes for Bolton, trying to bring in Yondadi Bodvarsson, but it's a weak ball, won back by the Salford defence. Forward comes Osama Ashley. He's tripped by Yondadi Bodvarsson, and the big Icelander stretches out a compassionate arm to pick up his opponent. Bolton with 2 goals without reply. A rocket from Carlos Mendes Gomez after about 45 seconds on my watch, and then Ricardo Almeida Santos with more of a scrappy header, certainly a centre-halves header. And Salford without much of a response so far, and there's an awkward ball forward from Ryan Watson. He was trying to bring in the right winger Luke Bolton down his flank, but completely misjudged his pass and floated it in the end straight into the hands of the goalkeeper Nathan Baxter. Rolls it short to the left-hand side. Bolton coming up towards halfway with Randall Williams. Started to see the tempo flatten out somewhat after the early excitement. Here comes the crossfield ball towards Dacres Cogley, who's offside. But the quality of the pass is still applauded by all of those in the loft-house stand across from us.
I can only dream of the days where I could reach that far with one of my passes. I mean, that was literally from one side of the pitch to the next. Just a really, really good piece of play from Carlos Mendes Gomez. Looks a class apart. I mean, I was mentioning him earlier, we got cut off because there was a chance, but he earned a move to Luton from Morecambe because he was brilliant there. And he never really got the opportunity playing at the higher level. Didn't get a run of games. And he finds himself, now at Bolton Wanderers. He's got to prove himself all over again, but he's making a good case for himself so far this evening. Very, very impressed by him.
Well, Senegal born, raised in Spain, but he's coming into his own in Bolton, Greater Manchester, or so it seems. Bolton lead by 2-0 against Salford City. 24 minutes gone on Talksport 2. You're listening to Cameron Pope and the words of the former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clark. Bolton coming forward. Luke Bolton coming forward for Salford City down the right flank, but he's stopped in his tracks by a Jack Idle tackle, sent back the way he came. Second ball will come in into the path of Dacres, but headed clear by Forrester And there's a battle on for possession outside the penalty area. Is Salford looking to come forward, trying to find a way through. Doesn't seem to be much movement in the red shirts, and Bolton with ease snap that ball back. Aaron Morley picks it up halfway inside his own half. Plays it out to the left-hand side looking for Randall Williams. Williams plays a risky ball across his own back line, but it does eventually end up with Baxter with some help from Santos. Bolton leading by 2-0. And I guess as well you can say, Adrian, with the format of this competition as it is, for Salford now, if this game is to get away from them, with it being a group format, it doesn't really mean that it's all over today. In fact, I'm going to get your thoughts in a moment, because Bolton are coming forward again, played into the centre, and Magoma firing over from the edge of the penalty area. And that is the danger. We're trying to commentate around the way that Bolton Wanderers are playing. They can have the ball on halfway, and within 10 seconds, they're bearing down the flanks once again and posing a threat. It remains, though, after 25 minutes, 2-0 to the home side.
Well, they're slicing through Salford very, very easily, aren't they? It's impressive, the triangles, the movement, the passing. It's almost as if they're... I don't want to be too critical of Salford, but they're not really laying a glove on them. They're not being aggressive enough. I was going to say it's like playing against mannequins at times. It's not as easy as that, of course it's not, but they're making it look that easy, Bolton Wanderers. They're carving through Neil Wood's side worryingly easily, and that has been the story of their season so far. They've got good players, they're excellent going forward, but they've given up too many chances in the early weeks, Salford City, and they've got to get to grips with it.
Well, it's not a first-string Salford City 11. We'll say that to cut them a little bit of slack. Neil Wood said he had a threadbare squad for the game against Morecambe on Saturday. They came off second best. Bolton have got a free kick here just inside the Salford half, and it's the 19-year-old debutant Collins who has put the foul in. He's certainly not shied away from taking the ball on, the young lad, and that was a name that no Salford fan had seen on a team sheet before tonight. He's been in the academy around 3 years, been playing as trade for the B team, but now he's left his mark on Will Forrester, who has rather gingerly picked himself back up to his feet. And then nearer to the touchline, we've got Paris Magoma, who's come across to have a word with the Bolton Wanderers technical staff. Ian Evatt and two of his backroom boys are offering out instructions to wave forward.
I thought there was only one allowed in the box.
Is that the most broken rule in football, though?
I mean,
along with the throw-in and maybe the moving ball, I think that's the holy trinity of pinching a couple of yards. And now with the new regulations, I think footballers, maybe they have to find new ways to...
Well, the coaches have got to sit down, haven't they? They've got to leave their managers to it, but good luck policing it. That's all I say. I think the fourth officials have a tough enough job as it is, without having to force the staff to sit down every 5 minutes. So, I'm not sure that particular rule change is enforceable.
Well, Jonathan Bickerdike is the fourth official tonight, and he's the man with the impossible task. And Ian Evatt has... as showy as ever with his emotions, he throws his arms out in despair at the fact that Nathan Baxter has had the cheek to only play it 20 yards forward towards Santos, but Bolton still don't look threatened in possession. And on 27.5 minutes to lead by 2-0. It could be more here because the ball's gone right through the middle towards Magoma. 30 yards out, tries on the right foot. Good save by the goalkeeper. Well, I thought he got a touch on that. And I think a couple of the Bolton players are turning around looking at the referee too. Either way, it seems to be flashed wide of the far post as Wright was diving full stretch to try and keep it out, but Magoma, the Brentford loanee, right on the edge of the penalty area, turning, twisting, firing into the space. Could have caught Salford out, not this time. 28 gone. It's Bolton 2, Salford 0.
What a pass. That was absolutely sensational from Jack Iredale. Just curled it between 3 or 4 red shirts into Paris and Magoma, who's just all on his own. Nobody around him. He says, thank you very much, receives it on the half turn, and should probably hit the target, but that was all too easy again for Bolton Wanderers.
Magoma has just been crunched by a sandwich of Link Bolton and Conor McLennan just inside his own half. But the free kick will go Salford's way, as he was judged to be the aggressor in that challenge. I think it was a fistful of the shirt that might have done for him. So either way, Salford taking a free kick just inside their own territory. Collins has it nabbed off his feet by Josh Dacres-Cogley. Held on to it a second too long, but the youngsters won it back, and he jinks and turns with the left boot, and now he's won himself a free kick. Good recovery by the 19-year-old. Wins the free kick in the Bolton half of the field, inside the centre circle. But his team have a lot of work to do on opening night of the EFL Trophy Group E for these two teams. The holders lead the 2020 winners by 2-0. Burko inside the Bolton half for Salford, coming forward, trying to play it down the line, looking for Dackers. Dackers has got the wrong side of the defender, can't reach the ball, and Ricardo Almeida Santos looks like a man who's done this many a time and shepherds that ball out for a goal kick, and in fact he's been cited, Dackers, by the referee for a pull, and so it would have been a free kick anyway. So Bolton in control at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. Cameron Pope and Adrian Clark, the former Arsenal midfielder, bringing the commentary of this one. Dacres-Cockley down the right-hand side for Bolton. Flying tackle from Burko, and a good one too, but can't prevent the corner. Nearly got the angle to send it out for a throw-in, but Bolton, as we bring up the half-hour mark, looking for a third.
Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing Dacres-Cockley. Rave reviews for his time at Tranmere. He's really good for them last season.
And he's taken a short corner kick up towards Randall Williams, played back towards Magoma, edge of the penalty area, into the box, and it was a awkward touch that rode up off Morley that almost allowed Bolton in for a third there, but eventually cleared by Theo Vassell. Out to the near side Bolton right flank. Morley looking for a pass, couldn't bring in Dacres-Cockley, however, and the red shirts will smash that ball long over halfway, and there's a good chase on by Conor McLennan. He's got pace in his legs, but not enough to keep it in play. His run is in vain, and Bolton doing everything right so far. They lead by 2-0. We played 30 minutes at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium, and a point that I was making earlier, Adrian, as I was cut off by the umpteenth Bolton attack, is that, OK, group stage, it might be a strange format for a domestic competition, but does this allow now Salford, if this game is to get away from them, and it looks like it might do, they can pick themselves up surely for game week 2, thinking it's not all over?
No, of course it's not all over. No, obviously Manchester United got the 2 points from the first match against Stockport, so them and Bolton will be in pole position, but it's not all over. So yeah, no, you've always got a second chance in this particular group phase.
Almost comical corner conceded by Bolton, and that seemed to be the only way they were going to concede one. Aaron Morley took a heavy touch facing his own goal, 15 yards out. The ball outran him, and it was then shepherded over the goal line for a corner by Conor McLennan. So Salford have a corner kick. They trail by 2-0. 31 gone on Talksport 2. Plenty of red shirts lining up for what's been a rare chance. A floated ball towards the back post. Here it comes, too deep. And maybe you feel that was Salford's one chance to really lay a glove for the first time on Bolton Wanderers, but it's in the custody of Iredale, and he has time to hoof that ball upfield, looking to find a third for Bolton Wanderers. The flick on comes from Dacres-Cockley into the path of Lunderloo, but Vassell, the centre-back, reacted first on the edge of his penalty area and moves that ball to relative safety on the right-hand side of the box. Ingram back to his goalkeeper, Joe Wright, whose distribution has been strong, even if he has had to pick the ball out of his net 2 times so far in his Salford debut. He picks out Ben Collins on the left side of his defence, but still, and Lunderloo is not giving up the chase. Now he's all over Kevin Burko, who's forced back to the goalkeeper, and now Lunderloo's on him too, and it's a nutmeg in the end from the Millwall loanee in goal, who I'm sure after that just didn't want the ball to come straight back to him, and now he's had to go to the right hand side, and now we're playing a game of keep ball inside the Salford penalty area. They trail by 2-0, and finally Joe Wright gets enough room past Lunderloo kick to the skies, and he's done a good job of it. Brings in Dackers, centre circle, now feeds it towards Ryan Watson, former Leicester trainee, coming forward. Luke Bolton was calling for it far side the Salford right. Now he'll run at Iredale, tries to get towards the byline. Iredale gets a foot in, happy to concede the corner. It's something that Bolton have defended well so far, and that 2 times the question's been asked of them. 33 minutes gone. It's the Trotters who lead by 2-0.
Yeah, it's a good battle actually on that far side between Luke Bolton, the right winger for Salford City, and Jack Iredale, the left side centre back. I think both are enjoying good first halves. Yeah, I was just thinking about the recruitment. Baxter in goal replaces James Trafford, who was great last year, and Connor Bradley was superb, the Liverpool loanee. He's been replaced by Dacres-Cockley. Two good pickups.
Big boots to fill. Here comes the corner, and again it's a really poor delivery straight down the throat of Baxter. This one, it was hit almost parallel to the goal line by Matty Lund.
Shocker, wasn't it, that corner? That was poor.
Captain should have done better, and the ball hasn't left Nathan Max's hands yet. That's another one we didn't mention, Adrian. 6 seconds supposedly for goalkeepers to release the ball. I don't remember the last time I actually saw that happen, and it certainly hasn't broken the trend here in Greater Manchester. 8:20 in the evening. It's still balmy, but a couple of players taking some liberties here with the referee, Aaron Jackson.
Maybe, but we're not seeing as much time wasting, are we? Certainly not here tonight, but in general I feel as if the new rules have had an impact on players. I think they're slowly realising, if we kill time here, if we manage the game and drag things out, it will come back to bite us because it will just get added on. So I think some of the new rule changes are having an impact, and a positive one as well.
So far, 34 minutes gone. Bolton leading Salford by 2-0. You're listening to Cameron Pope and the former Arsenal and Stevenage midfielder Adrian Clark, as the Salford goalkeeper Wright kicks for halfway once again. Plays it down the throat of Dacus Cogley, knocks it infield looking for a teammate, only finds McLennan. Forward over halfway he goes for Salford. Looking for the run of Collins, and he's found the young left-back, trying to twist his way around Dacus Cogley. Dacus Cogley gets a foot in, and it will be a Salford throw, almost directly halfway inside the Bolton half. Still some ground to make up for the Ammies. They trail by 2-0. Back inside their own half again with Burko. Plays it across his own back four. Now Salford skipping through with Ingram. West Brom low knee. Gets a lucky touch off Idell. Comes forward. Now tries a shot. Well, he shanked it wide, but can't blame him for having a go. He covered 30 yards almost by himself. Couldn't find a good option to aim for. Went for goal of his own accord and never really caught it right. It sprayed off to the right-hand side, and it remains after 35 minutes. Bolton 2, Salford 0.
What a good touch, though, to take it inside Randall Williams, because the ball came at him at pace, and the touch was just perfect inside the player that closed him down, and it just opened up a pathway of about 20 yards for him to stride into Ethan Ingram, and he looked confident, but the actual execution of the hit was pretty poor.
We've seen little bits from either of the Salford fullbacks, and one of which, Ben Collins, has just been caught offside from a direct ball diagonally from Theo Vassell, but Collins on the left and Ingram, the West Brom low knee, on the right. We've seen little moments from them both when they've been coming forward, quick feet, a turn of pace, and so there has to be positives that Neil Wood can take from the opening 36.
Of course, yeah, it's not all negatives. You know, they've regrouped well. When they've had possession, they've looked after it pretty nicely, Salford City, and I've liked Ingram and Luke Bolton down the right-hand side in particular.
Given away by Bolton, not many times we've said that. It came to Collins, who tried to chip it over the head of Dacus Cogley and bring in Conor McLennan, but it was the wrong trajectory on the ball, and it's gone straight out of play on the full. So Bolton will have the throw-in. Got a bit of a break after this, Bolton. The Saturday fixture against Shrewsbury is off because of international call-ups. Now, clubs can request a postponement if they've got 3 or more players away on duty. Bolton have 4, including youth internationals, so no action for them until the 16th. And they're 2 up here. Coming down the left-hand side once again. Awkward cross-in. Not the best one that Idell's hit tonight. This one veered straight into the hands of Joe Wright. And the blue-clad Salford goalkeeper just throws out 2 flat palms as if to say, calm down, to the midfielders in front of him. It's rolled out short towards Kevin Burko, centre-back, into his 4th season with the Ammies. Rolled it into Collins, whose long ball was astray over the head of McLennan, and it's back with the Bolton goalkeeper Baxter. Little for him to do so far, just the one save. Through ball from Morley doesn't come off, and it's bid to find young Daddy Bodvarsson down the left-hand side for the Trotters, so back to the Salford defence it goes. Vassell, with time and space on the ball, 10 yards outside his own 18-yard box, plays it into the feet of McLennan, who is immediately set upon by Forrester. Forrester nicking it off his toe and putting it out for an Ammies throw-in. 37.5 minutes gone. The pace of this game has gone right down. You can see a couple of fans in the Nat Lofthouse stand making their way to the half-time kiosks. And it was a frenetic opening. An absolute pile driver of a hit from the Bolton Wanderers midfielder Carlos Mendes Gomez. About 45 seconds on the clock when he rifled it past Joe Wright from 35 yards or so. And then a scruffy industrial header from centre-back Ricardo Almeida Santos to bring up the scoreline we have now. 2-0 to Bolton, and it's Bolton in possession in the centre circle. Salford half of the field. Group E of the EFL trophy. Holders coming forward. Through ball towards Bodvarsson on the turn up towards the byline. Shoots. Goalkeeper saves. Parries it and dives on it at the second time of asking. Did well there. Joe Wright gets up quickly. Thunders the ball downfield on the punt. And now Conor McLennan is going to try and chase it. Well, he was in a tangle with Will Forrester. He stayed down, the Salford man clutching his nose. Forrester is playing the innocent role and has chased after the ball. Referee has come over to check on McLennan. Hasn't offered anything more, and it will just be a play-on call. Over halfway it goes for Bolton. Turn into the feet of Paris Magoma. Halfway inside the Salford half. Forward comes Forrester. Plays towards the corner of the penalty area. Rides up off the defender after Randall Williams' touch. It'll be another Bolton corner, so 39 gone. Wanderers lead by 2-0. And still, while we're seeing Salford start to get a few more touches in the midfield, they look extremely comfortable at home side.
Yeah, look, I know we've got a high vantage point here. It looks easier, but goodness me, Salford's players have got to get tighter to the Bolton counterparts. It's like a force field is around them. No one can get within 2 yards of them. It's amazing.
Here comes the corner from Williams towards the front post. Header clear from Ryan Watson of Salford. Drops on the edge of the penalty area. Far side, the Bolton left. Is there a crossing opportunity? Cut back towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Now Paris Magoma, 40 yards out. Opts against the shot. Plays it away from goal to bring in Dacres Cogley, who for the moment is switched over to the left-hand side after starting on the right. Plays it down the line, looking for Carlos Mendes Gomez, but the defender was too close to him. And Vassell can clear that ball away from Salford. It's bitty, it's fragmented at times from the visitors, and they trail by 2-0.
Yeah, look, but as much as we've praised Bolton with the ball, I think you've also got to say that they're very good without it as well. I was looking at some of the numbers before I came tonight. They've faced the fewest shots in League One. Their pressing is statistically the best in the division. Opponents can only string less than 9 passes together before Bolton disrupt that move. It's really impressive coaching, I think, from Ian Evatt and his staff. With and without the ball, the data tells you they're pretty much the best team in the division. And what I'm seeing with my own eyes tonight is clearly a side that are incredibly confident in both departments.
Well, one of the best teams in their division, and they were the best team in this competition last season. They topped their group last term, lost on penalties against Tranmere, but then beat Crewe and Leeds under 21s to progress. Came past Barrow, Manchester United's academy, Portsmouth, and then Accrington to set up the final with Plymouth, which they won 4-0. And they were 2 up inside 10 minutes, in fact. And it's a similar performance here. 2 up inside 13. They have a throw in 15 yards from the Salford corner flag. Dacres Cogley to take it. Bolton's number 12 for the 1-2. Into Nlundulu with his back to goal. 3 Amis players, but none of them can get the ball back. Dacres Cogley with a dangerous cross. And Vassell unhappy with his clearance. He wanted to get more angle on it. He has managed to avoid the corner, but he slammed it out for a Bolton throw-in. This time about 10 yards from the corner flag. So Wanderers 2 up. Little response in an attacking sense from the Amis. This throw-in in front of the away fans. Dacres Cogley drops it in short. It's a misstep by Nlundulu. He was put under just enough pressure by Ryan Watson. Puts the pass out straight on the full. And the red shirts of Salford City have a throw-in. Referee has told Ben Collins to step it back a little bit. Not sure his words have been heeded. He drops it in short towards his midfielder Matthew Lund. Captain again giving away, but it was an awkward touch then to follow it up from Magoma, and so Salford have lost nothing. They've got a throw-in halfway inside their own half. 42 gone. Bolton winning this one by 2-0. Half-time not far away. Collins with the throw again, 1-2, and shows lovely skill to dink it over Magoma. Plays it into Watson once again. I've been impressed with what I've seen from the young lad on his debut.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, he looks really composed. He's had to receive the ball in tight areas on a number of occasions. He's not flustered. He's not fazed by it. He looks technically good, and yeah, I think you're right. I think he's been one of their better performers. I think that in midfield, the Salford engine room just hasn't clicked, and I don't think Neil would be very happy about it, because these guys aren't kids inside central midfield. Lund is one, Osama Ashley, Ryan Watson, they've all got a lot of games under their belt, but they've got nowhere near the Bolton players.
Bolton in possession, and comfortably so inside their own half. Trying to turn and bring it into the centre circle, should I say, for the run of Carlos Mendes Gomez, but he spins on the ball and he's knocked off it, and he's tried to bring down the Salford man. Referee's waved on advantage. Now Salford coming forward in towards the penalty area. Osama Ashley tight to the right hand touchline, turns it away from goal. Now it's Luke Bolton, gets the cross in, and he's coming forward, over the heads, and they were rising for it. It's come all the way out to the left hand side of the penalty area. Ball in from Collins, not a great one. Bounces once, it flicks over the head of Randall Williams, so Salford will still have it far side their right, but they've lost about 20 yards. Best passage of play so far from the visitors with half-time arriving. They're 2-0 down. Lund, the captain, plays in a weak ball, and it had his teammate Luke Bolton stretching to play it back into the Salford half. They've kept possession, but they've lost all their momentum. They come back to the deepest lying red shirt in Burko. And now Vassell And Watson will try and come through the middle. Here comes Vassell. Sprays it out to the right-hand side to bring in Ethan Ingram with the white boots. Bolton 2 up, but Salford starting to play better football in this half. Coming over halfway with Watson, but there's no one on for him in red. Vassell will try again, but it's into the centre circle, and again, nobody's showing from McLennan, who then gets a little shove in the back from Aaron Morley, just to let him know that he's there. Final minute of normal time in the first half, and Bolton thought they were in there, and Lunderloo's been fouled by Kevin Burko, and there's a little wrestling match between the two of them. The yellow card has come out. That's going to be the first one of the night for the Salford centre-back, and he made a real mess of that, Adrian. It looked as if he'd known that the ball was gone, then tried to haul down the Bolton man. Didn't respond well. Bolton have got a free kick, chance to make it 3.
That was so poor from Burko. There was a simple pass on to young Collins, but he turned back, tried to be a little bit clever, held onto the ball too long, and he lost it. And then Lunderloo was away, and he definitely pulled him back deliberately, and I'm not surprised that Lunderloo was frustrated. But look, they've been pretty good from these wide free kicks so far.
So, here comes the free kick, wide in the Bolton right. They lead by 2 goals to 0. Morley swings it towards the left edge of the box. Whipped in towards the back post. Had a goal was brilliant save by the goalkeeper. And he had to react quickly to deny Aaron Morley, who was heading towards the bottom left-hand corner. And the Millwall looney, with a quick left hand, got a forearm out and skittled it away for a corner kick. It remains Bolton 2, Salford 0.
Sensational. That was absolutely brilliant. What a good free kick as well. Morley snuck in on the far post and should have scored. It was outstanding goalkeeping.
Here comes the corner. 2 minutes of added time. We're into them by 40 seconds or so. Hits the first man. Poor delivery, and Watson can run this one away. Is there a goal back for Salford right on half-time? Taken off Watson by Dacus Cogley as he tries to get back into the Bolton half. Now comes Collins, trying to twist through 3 white shirts. It was a tall order for him, and he's muscled off the ball by Lunderloo. But it will be a throw-in for the Ammies, and they've started to play better football in the last 10 minutes of this half. 1 minute of the added time remaining. Bolton 2 up, looking comfortable, and it's a poor throw from Collins. He's thrown it right down the touchline. There was no one there in red, and he's got a reprimanding look from Osama Ashley, much more experienced central midfielder, who turns and showed as if he wanted it to feet. It's gone out for a throw-in. 30 seconds left of the 2 added minutes. Bolton in control of this EFL trophy tie. Baxter, in this fluorescent yellow goalkeeping strip, lays it out on the right corner of his 6-yard box. All the players have cramped into an area of about 30 metres square, just over the halfway line, and that's where Baxter plants this one. One of the last plays of the half. Flicked on by Bodvarsson. Headed clear by Collins from the edge of his own box. Down the throat of Magoma, though. The turn is from Carlos Mendes Gomez, who's goal started proceedings for us tonight. Bolton 2 up, looking for a third right on the stroke of half-time. Magoma coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Turn from Lunderloo, got himself into a good position, but there wasn't time to put in a cross at the end of it. And that brings to an end the first half that has been all Bolton's, but we have seen signs of encouragement for the Ammies. They were rocked within 50 seconds of the start. Carlos Mendes Gomez, thunderstrike from 40 yards out, rifled into the top corner, and then a header from Ricardo Almeida Santos. That is where we've stayed, so the holders on track on their return to the EFL trophy. This Group E clash, so as it stands, Bolton going to top the group that also houses Manchester United's under-21s and Stockport County. The summary of that first period is thus: Carlos Mendes Gomez, a rocket of a strike from way outside the Salford area, inside the opening minute of the game, then a header on 13 minutes from Ricardo Almeida Santos, the Bolton captain. Salford struggling really to make a dent in their League One host. It's 17th in League Two, hosted by second in League One, and the holders of this competition. We're underway for the second half, and don't forget, if Salford were to mount a comeback in this game and bring it back to parity at 90 minutes, there would be penalties. There would be 1 point apiece, and then a bonus point for the side that wins. And you'd have to fancy Salford if it came to that, because they've had 2 penalty shootouts so far this season in the Carabao Cup, and they've won both of them.
They have, yeah. Very impressive wins as well. Preston North End flying at the top of the Championship. They knocked them out of the Carabao Cup on penalties, and then Leeds United, the mighty Leeds United, they couldn't beat them. It was 1 apiece, and they lost on pens.
Forward Salford come near side there right with Luke Bolton twisting up towards the corner flag. I'll go through those 11s for you in a moment. Luke Bolton trying to get a cross in, but he's up against 2 white shirts. Can he get across past Bakers Cogley? Yes, he can, but it's met by the first defender. That's Ricardo Santos. It comes out 45 yards out from goal, and, well, Lund, the Salford captain, tried to dummy to bring him to sell. Didn't know that there was a Bolton man behind him, and then Lunderloo steals onto it. He's then brought down by the Salford captain, and it's a Bolton free kick in the centre circle. 46 minutes gone. Bolton 2, Salford 0.
How has Lund not got a yellow card there? I mean, it was shocking play initially, because he lets the ball run across his body, doesn't see a Bolton player behind him, so he gives the ball away cheaply, and then it's the most obvious sort of tug of the arm from Lund, who, remember, was sent off for fighting at the weekend against Morecambe. That I felt certain that might be a yellow card. The referee lenient.
Well, it was a grab and a grapple. Bolton leading by 2-0. Salford have this ball pinned up against the Bolton corner flag, and they're trying to buy some favour with the referee with a free kick right in the corner, and won't manage it because I don't think referee's going to take too kindly to the shove that Vassell has given to Carlos Mendes Gomez. But in fact, the referee has seen a bit of leniency early in this second half. He's given a free kick to the Salford goalkeeper, and, well, he's thrown it about 15 yards away from the corner flag where the offence was committed. So Joe Wright, who was given a baptism of fire in a Salford shirt on his debut on loan from Millwall, had to pick the ball out of his own net twice in the opening 13 minutes, but there we are. 47 gone in this EFL trophy clash. Bolton in full control, and that dead ball almost has gone straight out of play, and it will be a throw into the home side.
Made some saves though, hasn't he, Joe Wright? I think there was
a couple.
One brilliant save, left-handed reflex save, wasn't it?
It was a header from Aaron Morley with a header right down towards the base of the post, and he turned. He had no time to react, really. Got a forehand to it, skittered it away, and there was one, I believe, from Santos with his shins that he got to the ball. Didn't have to move too much for that one, but as all good goalkeepers will tell you, he was in the right place at the right time on purpose.
Yeah,
and made the save. And
as well, that he used his leg. I think it was his right leg in a 1v1. But look, but for those saves, and they weren't routine saves, they were excellent stops. But for those moments, he could have been 4 or 5.
I don't think you can really blame him for either goal. Certainly not the first goal. That was right at the top drawer. It was a goal worthy of winning any game, you would say. And the second, well, it was scrappy in the penalty area, but I think the damage was done by the defenders in front of him. And that's where we are. 48 gone. Cameron Pope and the former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clark on Talksport 2 as Bolton look to increase their lead. They're 30 yards out, looking to get across him with Iredale. Plays it down the line for Randall Williams. Cuts it back towards the edge of the penalty area for Lunderloo. Man on the overlap is Iredale. Trying to play it through. Williams. It's popped up off a defender. Williams into the penalty area. Cuts it back. Magoma, 18-yard box. Shoots just wide of the post. And it's the second time tonight that a Brentford loanee has done that. There are mocking jeers from the travelling supporters down the other end of the ground, but they know their side are in a battle. Bolton 2 up and always threatening for a third. 49 minutes gone on Talksport 2.
Too easy again. Very, very simple, wasn't it? Randall Williams inside the box, afforded the time to turn, look up, play a pass, and it was a good pass, a really crisp square ball to Magoma, who's on the edge of the box. And again, I think he'll be disappointed. He dragged his shot wide. It was a cleanish strike of the ball, but the direction was poor.
All given away. Bolton have it now in the penalty area. And Lunderloo crossing towards the back post. Bodvarsson, he was stretching his head for it, but it was hit too strong. Salford will try and clear their lines. Bolton, or in fact not Bolton, Ingram has it on the right back position. Plays it back to Vassell in his own penalty area, and Lunderloo right on top of him. Plays it towards his goalkeeper, and Lunderloo goes down in the penalty area, trips up over the Salford defender, and Salford have managed to clear that ball away, making problems for themselves at the back, in addition to all those that Bolton are making for them. Wanderers lead by 2-0, and Salford at the moment can't get out of their own half. They're going to have to go route one, and that might be the way forward, because Luke Bolton coming down the wing for the Ammies, cuts it back towards the 18-yard box. Might be an opportunity to shoot opening up here, trying to ride the challenges into the penalty area. Man goes down, looks at the referee, nothing given, and there are mocking jeers this time from the home fans. They've taken a rather dim view of Conor McLennan's tumble in the penalty area, and already Bolton are over halfway looking to mount an attack. They lead 2-0. And forward they come again with Gomez in towards Lunderloo, 30 yards out. Bodvarsson, corner of the area, cuts it back once more to Gomez, switches it to the right-hand side of the penalty area.
Oh, nice.
Through the middle it goes towards Lunderloo. Magoma with the ball, cut back by Bodvarsson, couldn't find a man in the centre, and Salford will get this ball clear. And again, it's wave after wave of Bolton attack that the Ammies are failing to deal with. They're going to try and get out of their own half again down the right, though. They've managed it, and now comes Luke Bolton, and over his shoulder he's got another red-shirted man. Here's McLennan, edge of the attacking third, crosses way too close to the goalkeeper. It's played right into the hands of Nathan Baxter, and Salford, well, they're going to get scant chances if it's anything like the first half, and the balls they get into the penalty area, they have to be better than that, Adrian Clark.
Yeah, got to show more quality. McLennan, who tumbled to the floor too easily for me. It wasn't a penalty. That was just a wayward cross into the arms of the keeper. At the other end, Magoma again. This time he doesn't shoot, and he slips a beautiful little pass for Dacres Cogley inside the box, gets to the byline, but his cutback was repelled. But yeah, again, very, very impressed by Bolton at the start of the second half. That said, they've looked a bit more ragged without the ball. Randell Williams got caught out there, ball watching. Just simple pass played over his head for Luke Bolton, and they got themselves into a good area. So I think Ian Everett would have been on his case, just saying, don't want to see a repeat of that, please, Randell.
The wisdom of Adrian Clark, former Arsenal midfielder, a man who played his football in all the top 6 divisions in English football. Did your career ever take you to Bolton, Adrian?
No, I didn't play. Didn't play against Bolton Wanderers. I can't believe I didn't play at Bolton, but no, I've been here in my second career a few times working in the media, but never down there on the pitch, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's I've got to say, it's not my favourite place to work at as a commentator. You're a long way removed from the action. I reckon we're a good 80 yards away. We're at the back of the top tier of the main stand. We've got a beautiful view of this move coming forward. And Magoma into the penalty area down the right, cuts it back, and Lunderloo gets it stuck in his feet, twists around the Abbey's defenders. Is it going to be 3-0? Cuts it back towards Morley in the 18-yard box, tries to get away from Ashley, turns it onto his right foot. Oh, this will be lovely if it goes in, and it does! Right into the bottom corner. Aaron Morley, well, he hammered that home. There's a Salford man down in back play. The referee's going to check him, but it's not going to affect the goal. A lovely strike it was, but it was all about the build-up play. Aaron Morley jinking onto his left foot, then his right. He twisted around the young Ben Collins, and he slammed his shot into the bottom corner. And after 53 minutes, it's Bolton 3, Salford 0.
What an accomplished finish from Aaron Morley. He was not going to be rushed there. The ball came to him on his left foot. He thought, no, I'm going to just turn. He pirouetted really smartly, just created a yard of space for himself, and then he effectively passed it low and hard into the near post. Just kisses the inside of the post. It's out of the reach of the goalkeeper. It's a really crisp finish from him, and it crowned another excellent move from Bolton Wanderers. Superb they've been tonight.
It was a delicious finish from Aaron Morley, and one that, barring a minor miracle, surely takes this game away from Salford City, who at times have played some good midfield football, attractive passing football, but haven't been able to dent the holders' resolve going forward, and they have been powerless to stop them at the back, as we've seen now. The Salford man is still down. I'm trying to work out, Adrian, who this is, because it's a long way away from us. He's just picking himself up to his feet. My first thought was that it was Burko, but I've seen him trotting away, so I think it's Osama Ashley who's gone down, number 4, in the 18-yard box. And the good thing is he's got himself back up to his feet. Now, he wanted to go back into straight back into action. It is Ashley. He's going to have to walk over to the touchline, because he's received treatment from 2 members of the Salford medical staff, and they're now arguing the toss with the referee Aaron Jackson. And to add insult to injury, not only have Salford gone 3 goals down, they're going to have to start the game again with 10 men momentarily, but that is the law.
It is, yeah. No, he feels a bit sorry for himself, doesn't he, Osama Ashley? And you just think now, with that 3rd goal, the Salford City players, the Ammies, will be looking at that clock and it will go a little bit too slowly
not want to come back
for their liking. I mean, we're only 54 and a half minutes into the game. There's a long time left, and you just sense that if Bolton keep up this momentum, this quality, it could get messy.
It really could. They've scored three times so far this season, Bolton. They put 3 unanswered goals past Lincoln on match day 1 in the Championship, and then they followed it up against Cheltenham, same scoreline, match day 2. And then match day 3, they beat Fleetwood 3-1, and then, well, it all started to go wrong a little bit. They were hammered by Wigan. That was, if anything, the catalyst to an improvement, and they've picked themselves up. They sit second on goal difference in League One, and they are ruling a roost here at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. Champions in April at Wembley in front of a record crowd. They've certainly proved that the EFL trophy, much maligned, it does matter. A brilliant strike from Carlos Mendes Gomez inside the opening minute to get the party started. Then Ricardo Santos with a scrappy but important header to widen the gap after 12 minutes. And then, just a few moments ago, Aaron Morley. I think that rivals the opener, to be honest. It wasn't as powerfully hit, but it was sweetly struck. Bent in through a raft of red-shirted bodies into the bottom corner. And that's where we are now. 55 minutes 55 and a half minutes gone at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium on Talksport 2 with Cameron Pope and former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clark. It's Bolton 3, Salford 0. And Salford on a rare foray forward into the Bolton half of the field. Lund, the captain, spreads that play forward into Watson. 35 yards out from goal. Has Magoma, the Brentford loanee, to keep him company as Bolton's home fans try to push their team along. Not used to seeing them defend, but credit to the Salford supporters who kept bringing the noise away to mine and Adrian's right. They can see their team attacking towards them now. In the red shirts coming forward. It's Luke Bolton who cuts in field. They're playing some sort of game, the young lads at the back of the Salford away stand. They might have to concentrate on the action now, though. Osama Ashley coming forward, up towards the byline. Clips it against the shins of Jack Iredale, and for the first time in the second half, Salford have a corner. They trail 3-0.
Yeah, there's a pocket of fans to our right, Salford supporters, that are basically just determined to have a great night, even though their side are 3-0 down. I think they're trying to taunt Bolton.
I think one of the Bolton fans has been escorted from the premises. I think he might have been enjoying himself in the wrong way.
I can see that.
And there are half a dozen, can only be teenage Salford fans, about the same age as a couple of lads on their bench, who are having a right old time. Their side 3-0 down. Here comes Lund's corner for Salford, headed over the bar. Well, that was a good chance there. And it was the number 2, Ethan Ingram, who flew onto that, and none of the Bolton players seemed to go with him. And the Baggies loanee, he got up high, but the header stayed high and soared over the crossbar into the empty track behind Baxter's goal. So it will be a goal kick. Talksport 2 commentary of this EFL Trophy Group E clash. Currently, Bolton are winning this by 3-0. They'll play up towards the Salford half of the field, where Vassell comes into custody of it for the away side, but shows too much of it to Jon Daddy Bodvarsson. And the Icelander cuts a foot across, says thank you very much, and tries to nick it off Vassell's toes, but it will just be a Salford throw-in in front of Neil Wood's technical area. Thrown down the line, that will go towards the tall figure of Marcus Dackers, the Welsh forward for Salford. We haven't seen much of him so far. We haven't been able to see very much of him. Third season with the Ammies. He was a Brighton man before that, Manchester City youngster. Stands 6'7", but there's just been no service really into him.
No, he doesn't have electric pace, and he's just fed off scraps. And look, Ricardo Santos is a very, very experienced player now, and it's a good Bolton rearguard. I think I've been really impressed with Forrester, Santos, Iredale. They've managed to hold him and Salford at bay very, very comfortably so far tonight.
Bolton coming over halfway with Forrester looking for a man down the right hand side, and he's found Magoma, corner of the penalty area, up against Burko. Moves it out to his right hand side. Now Dacres Cogley looking to get the cross in, played it backwards towards Forrester, who is immediately pounced upon by Osama Ashley, but given back to Bolton though rather cheaply. They're 45 yards from the Salford corner flag, far side the Trotters right, have to go backwards to come forwards, but they chip it into the centre circle, and here comes Iredale, left hand side of that centre back trio for Wanderers. Randall Williams looking for a path through to goal, up towards the corner of the penalty area. There's nothing forthcoming for him. Has to come backwards. Bolton still in command of possession and in command of this game. Into the feet of Morley, scorer of the third. Dacres Cogley bringing it in from the right-hand touchline as Bolton look at it. Cuts it back. Shot in the pocket might be opening up for Iredale. Instead it's going to be a chip over the top from Gomez, and well, he had Bodvarsson and Nlundulu and Dacres Cogley in there. Managed to miss all of them. Plants it straight into the hands of the Millwall loanee goalkeeper Joe Wright. 59 and a half minutes gone here in Greater Manchester. It's Bolton 3, Salford 0.
Yeah, wrong choice there from Carlos Mendes Gomez, but there's not been many of those this evening. I've been really impressed by Paris Magoma. He's a young player. Obviously a couple of loan spells already in his career away from Brentford, but this is a big opportunity for him. He's joined a big club here in Bolton Wanderers, and I think he's done himself some favours tonight. He's made some great runs with and without the ball, and has been a threat. So, substitute for Bolton, first of the night, scorer of the first goal, Carlos Mendes Gomez. The attacking midfielder is being replaced by a central midfielder, George Thomason. So we'll see if that leads to a change of shape. I'm sure Adrian will keep us up to pace with that with his far more qualified opinion. And there's movement on the Salford bench as well. I'm not sure whether it's just to get some drinks. No, I can see some red shirts. I'm having to stand up in my press box seat here just to peer over the edge. And well, Conor McElhenney, former Everton youngster, who actually made his debut replacing at the Emirates Stadium one of the Salford co-owners, Phil Neville, in that game. He's going to be coming on
along with Callum Hendry. And there's going to be another change as well. And I think that this is going to be a very big day indeed for Liam Humbles. It's going to be his senior football debut. He's getting ready to come on as well. So we've seen the first change come off for Salford. That's Ryan Watson, defensive midfielder. Hendry has come on in his place. Also departing the field of players, Osama Ashley, the man we saw get that knock a few moments ago. So on comes Connor McElhenney. He'll be filling in into midfield. And now, time for the youngster. I mean, why not throw him on now, Adrian?
Absolutely.
The game you'd imagine is gone, but it's a moment that he will never forget. He is going to be thrown into the action, and we're just waiting to see who for. Now, here comes the board, and it's going to be Luke Bolton. And I, for one, am glad, because it's the first time in my commentary career that I've had to commentate on a visiting player with the same surname as the name of the home team. But off comes Bolton against Bolton, to be replaced by number 47, Liam Humble. So his only experience of senior football was at Nantwich Town last season on work experience in the 7th tier. On comes the midfielder to make his Salford City debut. What a day for him. His side are 3-0 down with 28 minutes to go.
Yeah, not easy to make your debut in these circumstances, but he'll be delighted to be out there on the pitch. He's gone straight into central midfield. The other two, very experienced players.
Oh, giving away here, and John Daddy Bob Varston might have been away, but quick thinking from Vassell. It was an under-hit pass from Ethan Ingram that floated that ball into dangerous territory on the edge of the Salford box, and the more experienced defender reacted quickly to steer that back to Joe Wright. So Bolton thoroughly in control and heading for top spot in the group in Group E. Manchester United and the 21s having beaten Stockport on penalties 2 weeks ago in the opening clash in this group. And if you're not familiar with the EFL trophy, that's its current default name now after its various guises. 90 minutes, and if scores are level, and they don't look like they will be in this one at 3-0 after 63 minutes, well, there's a penalty shootout, 1 point each and a bonus point for the winner as Bolton come forward looking for a fourth. Long crossfield ball up towards Randall Williams. Up by the byline, he's cut it back. He's missed all the white shirts in the penalty area though, and it's nicked off him by Humbles. First touch for him. Now towards halfway it goes. Salford looking for a counter-attack. Maybe they've got the pace to do something here with McElhenney. Plays it to the right-hand side of the field looking for Dackers, who's come out to more of a wing role, or so it seems, Adrian.
No, I think Dackers is going to be up front with Hendry. Hendry got a hat-trick recently at Tranmere. He's a good player. Very good striker, the number 9. McElhenney, he scored a lot of goals in the EFL down the years. So I think it's a change of shape to 4-4-2, rather than that 4-3-3 that we started. And Humbles will sort of slot in central midfield alongside Lund.
You can see now actually the way it's taking shape, and those two Salford red shirts look rather isolated among 5 Bolton defenders. And Salford go back to their goalkeeper Wright. Plays it short into the feet of Burko. No press from Bolton at the moment. Nothing really to chase at 3-0 up in this game. Poor ball in from Collins into the young Humbles. It slammed into his feet, and he did well to control it with 2 white shirts around him. Salford play up towards halfway. Then that's when the move breaks down. Forrester briefly winning it back, but could only divert his pass into the feet of the Salford captain Lund. Vassell over halfway for the Ammies. Trying a through ball from midfield was McElhenney, but couldn't bring in the run of McLennan. And his through ball eventually goes to waste and rolls through to Bolton's Baxter. Bolton 3 up. 64 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Cameron Pope and Adrian Clark on comms. But it's been won back by Salford. 35 yards out. Dackers coming forward. Tries a shot. It was a weak one. It rebounds off Santos and springs out near side the Salford right. Here's McLennan. Possible crossing position if he can get it past Williams. And he does so, but he hits the second defender. Good control by Iredale. And he gets that cleared up towards halfway. There might be a chase on here. Young Daddy Bod Varson was herring down on Theo Vassell. But Vassell showing awareness to work that back to his goalkeeper. And he's been more of a rock, Vassell, you'd say, a man with more experience than the debutants around him. And what's the role of the senior players in these squads in the EFL Trophy, Adrian? Does it change into more of a mentor role when you've got young players around you?
It does, yeah. I think it does, yeah. You ask a little bit more of them in terms of being vocal and encouraging and just helping to coach the youngsters through the game. Yeah, absolutely it does. So, yeah, just by the nature of the changes that are made, teams are younger, so anyone that's senior that's out there has to step up and be like a captain, even if they're not wearing the actual armband.
Well, there are rules as to what squad you can field in this EFL trophy. Teams risk up to a £5,000 fine, not the strongest fine the EFL can hand out, but teams must start 4 qualifying outfield players, and there's a whole list of criteria as to what means you're a qualifying player, but it's basically players with more than 40 senior appearances over their career, players that started your last game or go on to start your next game, players on loan from a Premier League club. And Bolton, playing it close to the bone, made 7 changes from their win over Derby at the weekend. Salford made 6, but so far seen no let-up in Bolton's rhythm. They lead by 3-0. Not that it's denting the resolve of the Salford fans, being led by their young chorus of songmakers on the back row of the Frankincense South stand away to our right. Those in the home stand, the wing of the Tough Sheet Community Stadium this evening, just the one stand open to home fans. They're rather quiet, but I'm going to say satisfied with the scoreline at the moment, as Perko goes back to his goalkeeper for Salford. Wright has a moment away to our left to ponder, and then goes back to Perko and decides maybe that wasn't the best option, because John Daddy Bob Varson was right on top of him, and once again it's back with the Salford goalkeeper. Could we say at times they've looked a little bit short on ideas, the Ammies?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, they have been short on ideas. They should be better now with Hendry and McElhenney up, up in the forward areas. They're playing very wide. It's a very wide 4-4-2. McLennan on this right has basically just standing on the touchline. So what they're trying to do here is pin the wing-backs of Bolton back. Dacres Cogley and Randell Williams. It's a tried and trusted method against a team that has wing backs. It's a game of cat and mouse, really, Cam, where you say, well, we're going to stay up the pitch. What are you going to do? Are you going to mark us, or are you going to go and play and be ambitious and push on? At the moment, they are pinning those Bolton wing backs inside their own half, but I'm not confident that will last.
Bolton 3. Salford City 0 on Talksport 2. Those are the words of former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clark as Salford come forward. They're starting to come forward a little bit more in this second period. Maybe the pressure off with the scoreline inflating against them as it's re-forward by Ingram. Cross comes in from McLennan on the right-hand side, headed away. Falls to Lund, cries a shoot from the away end. He's 30 yards out, thinks better of it. Plays it into Ingram. West Brom lonely turns, crosses into the area. And it looked to have caught Bolton out for a second. Then Ricardo Almeida Santos comes across, clears it on his right foot and just about gets to the right side of the corner flag to avoid the corner.
Good positioning, wasn't it? I'll tell you what, Ingram's done okay tonight. I think if you're looking for pluses for Salford, I think that he's looked very, very confident.
So Cameron Jerome, the vastly experienced striker, is going to come on for Bolton Wanderers. He's going to replace Jon Daddy Bodvarsson, who'll be placated by the fact he's had his first start in 8 months tonight. But a torrid old time of it so far, the Icelander. On comes Cam Jerome, former Cardiff, Stoke, Birmingham, Norwich. I could go on. Off he goes up front. He'll also be followed by number 14, Victor Adebayojo, who's going to swap in for Unlundalu. So it's the 2 strikers swapping off for 2 more strikers to bring Bolton's changes to 3. There are 5 changes allowed from 7 named on the bench, 3 stoppages in the game. So Bolton have 1 more set. Also 2 concussion substitutes allowed in this competition. As Hendry comes forward from the throw-in. Now he's cut inside the defenders. Now he's got a shot on goal. Puts it straight at Baxter. Did really well there, Hendry. Worked his way from the corner of the penalty area to the byline. Dropped his shoulder. Fired a shot. Wasn't his best. Hit the goalkeeper. Splayed up awkwardly for a moment off Baxter's shins, and then he caught it. But already you can tell now that the more experienced strikers have come on, and Salford look like they mean business a little bit more than they did in the first half.
They got more of a threat. It's as simple as that. That was great individual skill from Hendry, who's a good player. Had an excellent season last year and has started this one in decent form as well.
Bolton coming forward, far side there right. They lead by 3-0 on Talksport 2. Plenty of football coming your way on this station. 2 days' time, Thursday, 7:45, Slovenia versus Northern Ireland. Be there for Alex Crook and former Northern Ireland defender Jerry Taggart as Bolton come forward on the left-hand side, cross in towards the front post, and it splits home, but it's offside. Well, it came from absolutely nothing down the left-hand side. The flag was up straight away, flicked into the back of the nets, but immediately the Salford players turn to contest the finish from Adebayo. I think he's got that right there, the assistant referee. Lovely little pass from the left-hand side to start it off. Randall Williams with the ball. It was to the front post, but suspicious amounts of room for Adebayo. Tucks it home, and his celebrations are short-lived.
Yeah, it was, yeah. There were no major complaints. But it was a tidy little finish. Would have been probably his first touch, Adebayo. Just at the near post, just used the side of his foot, just opened it up, and it was a really clever, instinctive effort. But yeah, it looked to me as if he'd just made his run a touch too early. But I mean, it's bad news for Salford. I've got to say, Cameron Jerome and Adebayo is probably an upgrade on the two that started in Lundaloo and Bodvarsson, who hasn't had much game time. So it's not going to be any easier for them.
No, and Cameron Jerome double the age of some of these Salford players on the field tonight. Here comes the youngest of the crop, 19-year-old Liam Humbles, 35 yards out on debut. How special a night could this be for him if he were to get what would have to be a consolation, but one that Salford have started to look more like getting in this second period. Cross comes in from the left-hand side from Collins, another debutant. It smashes into the body of Paris Magoma and ricochets out for a throw-in to the Amis. Far side their left. 18.5 minutes of normal time remaining in this Group E EFL Trophy clash. Collins goes back from left-back position to the halfway line for Salford. Vassell looking for an option. Finds it in the form of Ingram. Away he goes from Adebayo, who's got an arm on him in the tackle. Seems to have been missed by the referee and his assistant on this near side. Salford right flank. Hendry is on the overlap. He receives it now, crosses towards the back post. It's bounced away from the red shirts, and it's an easy ball, really, for Will Forrester to deal with, but he's still managed to present it to Ben Collins. 45 yards out from the Bolton corner flag. Salford in possession now with Lund. Burko 10 yards further forward. Back to his captain. Salford playing it back to their deepest lying red shirt, but still on halfway with Vassell. Trying to find a way through to break Bolton's resolve for the first time in this game. The Wanderers lead by 3-0. Out towards the near side. Salford right for Ethan Ingram. Forward to Hendry. Rolls in the tackle against Dacres Cogley. Plays it down the line. Oh, that's a lovely ball. McLennan crossing, looking for the back post of Dacres. Couldn't find him. Put away by Santos, and the most meagre of threats snuffed away by Bolton once again. So great applause from across the way in the Lofthouse stand. And now Bolton coming forward, looking to mount a counter-attack. They lead by 3-0. Far side there, right, they are. And, well, for the moment, Magoma has opted to go back to his goalkeeper. Picks out Baxter. Doesn't need to be any urgency in the Wanderers' ranks. 17 minutes to go. And they head into the top of the group.
Yeah, it was miles better, wasn't it, from Salford, who have improved. Lovely pass inside the full-back from Lund. McLennan puts it into a good area. But Ricardo Santos, he's like a magnet to wherever the ball is. When it comes into the box, he just always seems to be there. Now, I know he's massive, but he's also very intelligent. And I think he's had a really strong performance tonight. He hasn't had to do a lot, but whenever the ball has come in and around the box, Ricardo Santos has been there.
There he is again, the man who seems to be binding this Bolton side together. Plays it over halfway for Iredale. Now halfway inside the Salford half. Bolton 3 unanswered goals ahead. Played into Randall Williams, tight to the left-hand touchline as Bolton look at it. They'll have to go backwards though. Salford with 10 men behind the ball, and one of them, Hendry, gets a block in. It's going to go out for a throw-in and a double change for Bolton Wanderers. So we can see Gethin Jones, the right back, and I'm straining my eyes to see who's joining him on the bench. That's number 41, Luke Matheson, who you might remember from his days at Rochdale when he scored at Old Trafford as a 16-year-old against Manchester United in the League Cup. He's 4 years older now, has been to Wolves, been released by Wolves. And the first of the men coming off is Randall Williams. And the second, as we peer over the edge of our seats to try and catch, I think that's Dacres Cogley who's come off. Yep, so it's the two full-backs who've gone. And coming on, like-for-like swaps in Gethin Jones and Matheson as well. So both of them right-sided. One of them will have to flit to his weaker side, although Jones has certainly shown himself to be adept on both flanks for Bolton. They have 15 minutes left in this EFL Trophy tie. They lead by 3-0 against the Salford side, who put in a shift and have had to play for long periods of time without the ball, and then long periods with the ball, but deep inside their own half. They've been given a lesson by the League One side today. Bolton trying to come forward, 35 yards out. Here's Magoma. Beasloney looks out to his right-hand side, brings in Jones for his first touch, feeds the ball down the line. Looking for Matheson, trying to get a cross in. Has to go towards the edge of the penalty area for Cameron Jerome, who's dropped deep to try and start something. Whipped out to the right-hand side. Now there's a battle on by the corner flag. Bolton on the attack, trying to get this ball into the penalty area, but humble to putting up a fight. Bolton will move it away towards the edge of the attacking third. Now Magoma clips forward. Magoma looking for the 1-2. Oh, he wanted it back there, didn't come to him. Thomason trying to find him, but plays it straight into the feet of a defender. And eventually it's cleared long over halfway. And not quite into the hands of the Bolton goalkeeper Baxter. It's come out of his penalty area at the last moment, so he had to watch that carefully. And with left foot, call as you like, rolls it into the feet of Iredale. So 14 minutes to go. Bolton 3, Salford 0.
Yeah, bit of a reshuffle. Forrest has come over to the left side centre-back role. Jack Iredale's going to play as a left wing-back. And Matheson, who I'm excited to see, is occupying that sort of advanced right wing-back position. Obviously made a real name for himself scoring against United and getting a £1 million move to Wolverhampton Wanderers, where it just didn't work out for him. He had to basically restart his career at Bolton Wanderers. He's been in the B team, and this is a big night for him, back on the first team stage, and I hope it goes well for him, and I hope he can break into the first team here and really reignite his career.
That's it though, 5 years on from his first team debut at 15 for Dale. He's 20 years old now, but that's quite a big and bold move to admit, okay, not working out for me at this Premier League outfit, I'm going to try again in a B team. Salford coming forward with Dackers, near side there right, gets a cross in, and Hendry was there in the penalty area. It's been given away by Bolton, who had fielded that ball initially clear. It's put into the feet of Hendry. Now it comes back near side the Salford right. McLennan looking for a cross, he rolls it into the path of Ingram, who turns away from his defender but then runs straight into George Thomason. Only half clear by Bolton though, who has started to look a little bit sloppy at times in this second period. There's a Salford man down on the far side of the field, looks like Ben Collins, who's helped himself up to his feet and he's walking really gingerly on his right foot, holding his right knee, and the ball's been played straight to him. I don't think his teammates have realised what's going on, because they had possession at the back, Salford, and didn't put the ball out. I must say he was a long way away from the action. Young lad, 19 years old on debut. That's not the way you want his night to finish, and he's now got the pacey Matheson to deal with. He's picked it up for Bolton on halfway line, and he threads the ball down the line. Adebayo chasing after it. Flag hasn't come yet. It yet might. There are options in the middle for Bolton, looking for a fourth. Adebayo slotting it in, looking for Jerome. Only finds the punch of the goalkeeper, who got down early, out towards the edge of the penalty area. And Salford will try and clear their lines, but Bolton are just not giving them a moment's peace when they come on the attack. The ball does go long towards Dackers. It clips off his red shirt, out for a Bolton throw. 12 minutes of normal time remaining. Bolton lead by 3-0, and now we're going to see some treatment for young Collins, who's gone down again.
Yeah, not sure what it is, whether it's a dead leg or whether it's something more severe than that, but yeah, he is struggling, and they did prey on that a little bit, Bolton Wanderers. Matheson was afforded more time than he probably would have had, because Matheson was the youngster was struggling, and he threaded a beautiful little pass down the line for Adebayo, cuts it right back. And again, the goalkeeper did pretty well. You know, he's conceded 3 tonight, but Joe Wright, I think, can hold his head up high.
So we're going to see another debutant for Salford City. They're going to take off their stricken left-back, Ben Collins. And it's going to be the number 50 who is coming on. Don't see many of them. Tosin Olopade. So this will be his Salford City debut. Born in 2004. That almost makes me feel ill, how young some of these Salford players are.
It makes you feel ill. What does it do to me?
He's a young lad who came over from Ireland, having played with UCD, was at Burnley under-18s. Well, is there going to be another change now? Because we've seen another player come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, the big man,
I think we can see Big Matt Smith, as he's affectionately known, coming on to take to the field. So Matt Smith has gone into the attack. Did we see Dackers come off there?
Yeah,
I think we did.
He's trudging around that far side, round the corner.
How sporting of him. He's gone off at the nearest part of play, and he's fooled the commentators as we're looking around like headless chickens trying to work out where the 11th man has gone. Yeah. So it is Dackers who goes off. Matt Smith, who scored against his former club Leeds in the Carabao Cup earlier this season, just a week and a half ago. He has come on to finish off this game with 11 minutes left to play. And so 10 minutes was all it took for Bolton to go 2-0 up in the first half. What will the final shade of this game have in store for us? Long ball comes forward for Olopade. His first touch on debut. Corner of the penalty area, cuts it back looking for a cross. He's got a 1-2, now gets a cross in. Maybe it took a whisker of a defender. No, I think he just sliced it. It's gone awkwardly out for a goal kick over the frame of the goal of Baxter. It will remain after 18.5 minutes. Bolton 3, Salford 0.
Well, they're plugging away, aren't they? They haven't given up completely, Salford City. I think their attitude has been good. Neil Wood will be pleased with that. He's obviously brought on a lot more experience in the second half. I think that 4-4-2 has changed to a 4-4-2 diamond with McElhenney in that number 10 role in behind Smith and Hendry. Now that they're three very good players at League 2 level that could probably all play in League 1. So Salford right now are far stronger than they were at the start of the game, and I think we're seeing that in the way that the game has evened out a little bit.
On the defensive once more though. Here comes Adebayo 45 yards out. Rolled into Morley, scorer of the third and at the moment most recent. Adebayo did get the ball in the net from an offside position that would have made it 4. Now Bolton coming and chasing that 4. Into the penalty area for Forrester. Crosses towards the back post. Heads go up. Jerome was there. Can't get it goalwards. It falls to Matheson. Has to take it out away from the penalty area. Far side the Bolton right. Up against McLennan. Tries to get it crossed in. It pings back off McLennan. Off Matheson. And out for a goal kick. 81.5 minutes gone. You're listening to Talksport 2. Cameron Pope and the former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clark on commentary. Coming up on Talksport, plenty more action over this international break, both international and domestic. So Thursday night, Talksport 2 is the place for Northern Ireland's Euro 2024 qualifier against Slovenia. Alex Crook and Jerry Taggart on that one. Saturday, that's all about League 2. 12:30, Bradford versus Grimsby with Ian Dancer and former Scotland striker Chris Iwelumo. After that at 3 o'clock, Wrexham versus Doncaster with Joe Shannon and former England defender Mickey Gray. More to come after that, besides as Salford come forward. 8 minutes of normal time remaining. Man on the overlap is Ingram into the penalty area. Sliding tackle has not won the ball back off him as he turns and tries to get to the byline, puts across and hits it straight at Santos. Once again, that ball sticking to him like glue, and it's cleared away by Bolton for a corner kick. 3-0 they lead.
Yeah, Santos, he's always there, isn't he? On that occasion, Forrester did excellently as well. He covered his man just as the ball rolled loose across the 6-yard box. In he slid to put the ball behind, I think for a corner here. Yes, it is a corner.
So Lund to take it. He's a right foot up, so this is set up for an outswinger. It's right in front of the travelling Salford fans, still making their noise. As the cross comes in, it's straight to the goalkeeper, who drops it, shot goalwards, hits a defender again. I think it was Cameron Jerome who got in the way of that. Out it comes to the right-hand side for Salford. Lund crosses in, hits the first man. Had it clear this time by Iredale. Drops 35 yards out. Salford trying to find what will have to be a consolation. Hendry, edge of the penalty area. 25 yards out now as he comes away from goal, tries to get around Jerome. Battling for it is Morley. Morley wins it, presents it straight to Oladepe. Tries to cross him from the right-hand side. And the young debutant sees his cross blocked once again. It's a tale as old as time in this match. Out for a throw-in to Salford City. Taken quickly, Lund 1-2. Now he crosses towards the back post. Smith heading towards goal. Well, the big man got on the end of it. That's what he was brought on to do. But his aim not quite right this time, and he's put it 10 yards wide of the target. 83 gone. Bolton 3, Salford 0.
Finally a decent cross from Salford City. At last. And crosses are what Matt Smith has fed off throughout his career.
He's made a career of heading balls like that into the back of the net.
And I thought for a moment he might have scored from that one, but it's well wide in the end. But yeah, much better. I think the spirit and the attitude of Salford City would have pleased Neil Wood in this second half. But yeah, ultimately his team have been outclassed by, I've got to say, a really slick Bolton.
Positives to take for both sides. More for Bolton going into the league. After this, they've got a 16-day wait to get back into action. Forward they come with Matheson down the right-hand side. Cross towards the back post. Jerome keeps it alive. Oh, should have done better, Adebayo. That was a lovely flowing move from right to left. Matheson racing down the right flank. Cross towards Jerome. Hooked it back into the middle. Agility beyond his years. And then, well, right towards Adebayo, who couldn't keep that ball down under the crossbar. Balloons it over. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on him. It was moving rather quickly, but a free-flowing move. Needed a better finish. It remains after 84.5 minutes on Talksport 2. Bolton 3, Salford 0.
Didn't he do well, though, Cameron Jerome, to sort of hook the ball back across the face of goal? It was a deep cross. It wasn't a bad cross from Matheson, but it was a bit deep. He sort of got his leg up pretty high and controlled the pass really nicely. Adebayo, yeah, I think he'll be annoyed at himself not to have hit the target. Obviously, he's been in the goals as well this season.
Cameron Jerome just goes to show that experienced strikers, that it's so important at this level and in things like League One, where experience can get you through with some astute loan signings. We actually played for the same junior team back in West Yorkshire, myself and Cameron Jerome.
Oh, brilliant.
I don't know who taught him to do that overhead cross towards the back post, because whoever didn't teach me how to do it. Anyway, Bolton coming forward with Matheson, trying to play in Adebayejo, but the pass is overhit. And Vassell, who claps his hands together, almost in frustration, partly to gee up his younger defensive comrades, feeds it back to his goalkeeper. Salford have been outclassed, as former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clark said, in this EFL Trophy Group E clash against the holders. And the holders 3 up and cruising, have been for a long time.
They're pretty favourites, aren't they, for the competition? I mean, you think about it.
The second in League One, I guess you have to say they're in the top 2 seeds.
The teams at the top end of League One are automatically going to be the favourites for the competition. It doesn't always work out like that. So, yeah, Bolton is about as tough as you're going to get. Bolton away from home as a group game is a real challenge, and it's been a tough one tonight. For a sort of out of sorts Salford City, the season hasn't got going yet. It's as simple as that.
Now, there haven't been many other schoolings tonight in the 14 EFL Trophy matches we've had. Forest Green beat Shrewsbury in the earlier kick-off by, one of the earlier kick-offs by 3-0. But otherwise, been a bit more even. AFC Wimbledon getting past Stevenage on penalties. Don't think we'll be needing them in this one. There's a cracker going on at Crawley. They're leading Charlton by 4-3 in one of the 7:45 kick-offs. 2 minutes to go in that one. 3 of normal time in this one, as Salford come forward with Olopade down the left-hand side. Nothing on, though, in terms of passing to a red shirt, so Lund is looking to go back into his own half of the field to find Vassell, deepest lying Salford shirt, feeds it into Ethan Ingram, and there's a round of applause from a lone Salford fan in the away end, as Hendry on halfway has 2 white shirts to deal with. One of them has shoved him. It's Jerome, and a free kick, and an easy one for the referee to give. And he's not had too much to do tonight, Aaron Jackson. Big night for him. We alluded to that a couple of hours ago. Kick-off, he's a National League referee who's had to step up for the EFL Trophy, and okay, not really been tested, but I think he's done a good job.
You haven't noticed him, and I think that's the biggest compliment you can pay to a referee. Yeah, no, he's not been over fussy. He's let the game flow. It's been a good watch, but it's mainly been a good watch because of the quality of football that Ian Everett's side has produced.
Well, his side, for a rare moment, are defending as Olopade comes down the right wing trying to latch onto a through ball from deep from Hendry, but it was overhit in the end. And Baxter off his line and still marshalling his defence. Rolls the ball out on the right boot towards Forrester, who is stock still now halfway inside his own half, and the press has stopped from Salford. This game has long been over in terms of a contest. A lovely strike from Aaron Morley after 53 minutes put paid to any realistic hopes of an Amis comeback. They have it in the centre circle, though, the away side. Humble's coming forward. Done well on debut since coming on. He's evaded the challenge of Cameron Jerome for one, but has then run down a blind alley. And Bolton only too happy to take that ball back off him. Jerome playing point man on halfway, feeds the ball out to the right hand side. Now the white shirts of Bolton will come forward again. Can they find a 4th goal to wrap this one up for good in emphatic style? Morley, edge of the penalty area, down towards the left hand side. Idell cuts it back. There are white shirts in the box. First touch was that of a defender, Kevin Burko, getting to it, and he slams it out on the left boot for a Bolton throw. So 90 seconds of normal time remaining in this EFL Trophy Group E clash. Throw in to the Trotters, who have been a cut above at the tough sheet. Some fans starting to head to the exits as we look across towards the Lofthouse stand. A couple of those in Salford Red away to our right as well, but you can't begrudge them at 3-0 to the Trotters. Bolton coming forward with Iredale. Corner of the penalty area, up against Lund, who wrestles the ball back off him and does it in a legal manner, says the referee, who was right on top of him. Salford clear their lines. Looked like it was going to go out on the full, but it took a wicked bounce inside Santos, and the Bolton man plays it back to his goalkeeper, who's had very little to do. He made one save, as I recall, from the head of Dackers about 25 minutes into the first half at 2-0 down, where he wasn't really made to move his feet, and otherwise it's been a very routine day for Nathan Baxter as Bolton come through the middle again, looking for Matheson, who's got the pace but can't quite get there ahead of McLennan. McLennan feeds back to his goalkeeper, and Wright kicks long into the centre circle. Bolton have it back. They've always seemed to pick up that loose ball tonight. Morley coming forward, scorer of the third. Has a spare man over his left shoulder. That's Iredale, moving out into the left berth. He tries to play a ball into the penalty area, but it's, well, mishit and it's left by Vassell for his goalkeeper as we tick past 90 minutes, and there's a rather ample 7 minutes and I've got an open-mouthed Adrian Clark alongside me. I don't think either of us was quite expecting that, and I can't quite work out where that's come from. However, I was in a really interesting meeting, you might have been in it too, Adrian, a few weeks ago with the PGMOL, and Howard Webb was speaking to broadcasters about how referees are going to apply the new laws of the game regulations and amendments this season, and the way they measure time elapsing has changed. So it used to be a stock 30 seconds, for those of you who aren't aware, to stop play and add on at the end of a game for things like goals, substitutions. Now it's the exact amount of time it takes from the stoppage of play to the ball gets back in motion again, and it does seem very fair. But that's why we've got a rather generous 7 minutes, whereas Salford look as if they'd rather be on the bus. They do have the ball 45 yards out from goal, and into Humbles. That's the verb of the day for the scoreline. Bolton 3 up. Here comes the overlap. Olapale trying to get the cross in. Rides up off the shin of Forrester, who was the defender to get to that. It's only half cleared though. Salford will come back again. Can they get a consolation shot from distance? Way over the bar. Never really looked like troubling the goalkeeper. It was hit powerfully by McLennan. And a couple in the Salford end, and the night has been a fun day out for them, whatever the score. You get the feeling they're pretending they scored a goal. And why not, lads? Why not? They're having a whale of a time. About 20 of them right at the back of the stand. That might have been me once upon a time.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to see. It's good to see the youngsters coming out to support
on a Tuesday night as well, where it's it's not a competition for bumper attendances in the group stages. But fair play to Salford. They've got a small catchment area. They're in a busy patch in Greater Manchester, but they've really turned out in the numbers for all things considered. I'm going to say about 250 have bought tickets for tonight. There was no pay in the door for them, and credit to them. And well, remains to be seen whether they'll have more to cheer in the league this year. They've been in and around the playoffs for 4 or 5 seasons. They sneaked in on the final day last season, wasn't to beat, and they've struggled so far on re-entry. Jerome coming forward, capitalising on a loose ball, 30 yards out, trying to find Adebayo in the penalty area. Only managed to find Burko in Salford Red, who 2-foots it back to his goalkeeper, right and left. Got it stuck in his feet, but still Rice is able to clear over halfway. And with 2.5 minutes of the 7 added, it remains at Bolton 3, Salford 0. And with the pace of the game as it is, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't change from here on in.
Yeah, no, probably won't. But he should have shot there, Cameron Jerome. It was good footwork, and I think a little half yard opened up for him to just bend it into that far corner. He's too unselfish, looking for his partner there, Adebayo. But yeah, Cameron Jerome, I think he's relatively new here at the club as well, and he could do with a goal.
Salford wanted to start play quickly with a free kick on halfway that they took 10 yards too far forward for the referee's liking, so he's brought them back. Not sure how much of an advantage they would have garnered, because Bolton did have men in defensive positions. Lund has it for Salford in the centre circle. His side 3-0 down and well beaten this evening in Greater Manchester. Vassell cutting it through the middle, looking for Olapale, who's had a lot to do since coming up, the 19-year-old. Now back towards Vassell, who uses Burko on halfway to feed into the path of Humbles. Now Hendry 45 yards out from goal. Can Salford get a goal? 3 minutes and change of added time remaining. Up towards the edge of the penalty area it goes. Hendry receives it from McLennan. He's 30 yards out. Looks like he's thinking about a shot, but his path to goal is blocked. Cuts it back towards Humbles. Out to the left-hand side. Here comes the crossing. Oh, it's missed a few. Oh, just over the bar from Smith. And he claps his hands in frustration. He knows he should have hit the target there. It's one that you would back him on, you have to say. It seemed to miss everyone in red and white. It came to the big man at the back post. He swung a left boot at it. He just got underneath the ball, and he puts it over the bar. 94 minutes played. Bolton 3, Salford 0.
A bad miss. It's a really bad miss from Matt Smith. He can't believe it. Good play from Burko. Put the ball into a great area, and for once it evaded Ricardo Santos in the middle of the area there. Forrester too, who was sliding in, and yeah, Smith had time to produce a much better finish than he did.
Long ball down the left flank for Bolton Wanderers. Comes up towards Cameron Jerome. Adebayo is in the centre, but it's Jerome now. Cutting onto the right, then to the left. Chips it towards the back post. Right at the defender, though. And it's going to be hooked away by Olapale. And out for a Bolton throw-in. Near side there left. 5 minutes of the 7 added played. Bolton lead by 3-0 in the EFL Trophy. You're listening to Cameron Pope And Adrian Clark on Talksport 2. Magoma looking for Bolton's fourth. He's 30 yards out, gets it stuck in his feet, loses it to Humbles. Humbles then gives it straight back to him. Magoma into the penalty area. Looks up, finds Jerome on his right foot. And that's an even worse miss than the one we saw a minute ago down the other end from Matt Smith. Puts it onto his right foot and he swung it, I'm going to say, about 15 yards outside of the post. We've seen him hit them far better than that. But after 95.5 minutes, it's Bolton 3, Salford 0.
Yeah, I've liked Magoma tonight. I think Magoma and Morley, the two sort of wider central midfielders, they're sort of flanking the Thomason as it is now down the middle. I think they've done very well. They've looked after it excellently. They've passed nicely, and they've travelled with the ball very well. I think that Magoma in particular, if he sees a bit of space in front of him, he'll just move with it, with the ball at his feet, and look to make things happen. And I like that in a midfield player, someone that's willing to commit opposition defenders. So I think that Magoma would have impressed Ian Evatt tonight.
Talking of impressing Ian Evatt, I was going to ask you if you thought that Ricardo Almeida Santos might be man of the match, but I'm not in the habit of asking obvious questions, or I'm trying not to be, but he's been everywhere at the back for Bolton tonight, and he's got a goal down the other end.
Yeah, he's a definite candidate, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, he's done nothing wrong. He's defended immaculately. The only thing that would count against him is that he hasn't had that much to do, because it's been so impressive in terms of pressure from Bolton Wanderers.
There's going to be a free kick, maybe a yellow card here that's going to come out for Matheson. He's bundled into Kevin Burko, who's on a rare run forward, and got a little bit excited, the centre-half, maybe thrown caution to the wind in the final minute of added time, but why not? And hey, he's won his side a free kick 25 yards out. Matheson into the book, becomes only the second recipient of a yellow card along with Burko. And there's a free kick for Salford City right at the end of this game. 97 minutes is almost up. There'll be just time for this free kick. Wide, far side their left, cut in towards the back post. Oh, the header Smith. The header did come in the end, but it's low and wide and never really going to threaten Nathan Baxter. And that's the final whistle. So 97 minutes of action, but it was wrapped up inside 13, really.